Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Neon 1000, my continuing exploration of this book given away with Neon magazine in the late 90s. 1000 essential movies on video, broken up into sections of 10 movies apiece, including Saturday Night Live movies, post-apocalyptic movies, mental movies, etc, etc. Today I'm going to be talking about Alligator from 1980, which is number 20 in the book, under the animal movies category, which I've already covered in a previous video. So I found the movie on YouTube, so you can go check that out if you want. I also found at the same time a movie called The Alligator People, so I had to check that out as well. And as I watched it as a direct result of this continuing quest, I thought I would talk about that one as well. Aren't you lucky? A cop and a reptile expert try to track down an enormous alligator which is feeding on residents of Chicago. Basically is mutated from feeding on the carcasses of lab animals that have been part of illegal experiments and then illegally disposed of in the sewers. The experiments have been bankrolled by a shady businessman who gets his comeuppance in the end after the alligator goes rampage at his daughter's wedding and eats him and several of the guests. Somewhere in the middle of the film, the city hires a game hunter to try and track down the crocodile and kill it, dispose of it, whatever. But he also gets eaten. Lots of people get eaten. Basically, that's it. The movie is directed by Lewis Teague, who also directed Cujo, Jewel on the Nile, Navy SEALs, and the slightly racist buddy cop movie Collision Course, starring Jay Leno and Mr. Miyagi. Cop David Madison is played by Robert Forster, who has appeared in a few things like The Black Hole, but one of his biggest, most well-known roles is Jackie Brown. Quentin Tarantino said in an interview that Robert Forster's character Max Cherry in Jackie Brown is directly influenced by Robert Forster's character in Alligator. So had Quentin Tarantino not seen Alligator, Robert Forster would not have been in Jackie Brown. The reptile expert is played by Robin Riker, who only major credit other than this is a 2-year stint in The Bold and the Beautiful. So that's it, that's all I got. So you've also got Michael V. Gazzo, or Gazzo, not quite sure how you pronounce his name, who appeared in Godfather 2, On the Waterfront, Sudden Impact, the Dirty Harry movie, Cannonball Run 2, and Last Action Hero. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars, as was De Niro and Lee Strasberg. I believe Robert De Niro won that one. I may be wrong. Slade was played by Dean Jagger, who actually won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role in 12 O'Clock High. He also played in Bad Day at Black Rock and Game of Death. So Alligator features an Oscar winner and 2 nominees. Robert Forster also was nominated for his role in Jackie Brown. The acting chops did not translate. Gazzo and Jagger both deliver not really the best performances. I was very surprised when they'd both been nominated for awards. One of them had actually won, because I thought they were both awful, to be honest. The film itself has some cool moments, but it drags on a little bit, to be honest. I started losing interest at various points. Then it would pick up, and then it would get really dull and boring. I don't think I will actually watch it again. There is a sequel called Alligator 2, The Mutation, which brings us to The Alligator People, which I watched solely for the title. So the film has an odd start. It starts with a doctor consulting one of his colleagues about his secretary, who he put under hypnosis. And under hypnosis, she tells this bizarre story about the alligator people. And then we go to flashback. So this woman, Joyce, just got married, and her husband Paul suddenly disappears during a train journey. The first part of the movie is a mystery. As she's searching for her husband, she finds there's no real information about him. So she eventually tracks him down to where he apparently lived growing up, which is this mansion in the bayou, basically. The next bit, I can only assume Stan Lee, when he was creating the character of the Lizard for the Spider-Man comics, saw this film because he pretty much ripped it off. In The Alligator People, a scientist uses alligator DNA and a giant laser to help regenerate people's limbs. And there are unforeseen side effects which start turning people into alligator people. The backstory for the Lizard in Spider-Man is a scientist uses lizard DNA and a big laser to regenerate his own limb. And there are unforeseen side effects and he turns into a lizard man. As you can see, they are two very separate things and not at all alike. Though he's not a main character, the film does star Wolfman Lon Chaney Jr. and George McCready, who mostly appeared in lots of westerns, but was also in Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory. The mystery half of the film does make it quite interesting, so it kind of draws you in. But sort of the second half is pretty standard B-movie monster kind of thing, but I would probably sit through it again. So if you've watched and liked one or both of these films, here are some recommendations. Rogue from 2007, which is basically a boat trip that veers off course and then gets attacked by an enormous alligator, crocodile, can't remember what it is, but it's big, gnashing teeth. If you like The Alligator People, you could watch David Cronenberg's The Fly, which is about a scientist doing some experiments. There are some unforeseen side effects and he turns into a fly man. If you like both of those movies, you could watch The Blob from 1958, starring Steve McQueen, which I think is a perfect blend of alligator and The Alligator People. It is a 1950s B-movie, but it is about a creature that attacks a small town and lots of people get eaten. That's it. That's all I've got time for. So long. Farewell.